quick
You
start.
ready to go? Brittany, you ready to go? Let's move on. We're gonna jumpstart this one. Okay.
Commissioner Crowley, long time no see.
I know.
Mayo, you know I gotta talk to you.
Oh, do you?
All right.
All right.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Franklin County Board of Commissioners General Session for September 26, 2023. As a reminder, if you are calling in on your cell phone, please ensure that your line is muted. And we will begin this morning with Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Boyce.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Always an adventure. All right, so good morning, everyone. Today is, we're glad to be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, which kicked off on September 15th and runs through October 15th. This Thursday, the 28th, we'll be live streaming a lunch and learn discussion about Hispanic Heritage Month on the Commissioner's Facebook page at noon, so please join us for that. Here to tell us a little bit more about the celebrations this month and introduce our guest speaker, Guadalupe Velasquez, founder and managing director of Welcoming City, is Perla Martinez, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Administrator. So good morning and welcome, Perla.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. My name is Perla Martinez. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Administrator for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Commissioners, this morning it is my great honor as a Mexican immigrant who chose to make Franklin County her home 12 years ago to be introducing Guadalupe Velasquez, Managing Director for Welcoming City, to say some remarks about Hispanic Heritage Month and the importance of the Hispanic Latina community here in the county.
Thank you, Perla. Good morning. Buenos dias, Commissioners, Board of Commissioners. It's an honor to be here, and I'd like to begin by just sharing a small bit about myself. I was born in Lorain, Ohio, to immigrant parents. I'm the youngest of 18 children, and from my mother's side of the family, we were one of the first 5 Mexican families to settle. And so my family did take that responsibility of immigrant integration very seriously. My uncle was the first Hispanic principal in Ohio and created the first Spanish bilingual program. I learned that the first bilingual program was actually here, and it's German. So the German bilingual system was established first, and then my uncle established the Spanish-speaking bilingual program at Lorain City Schools. Hispanic Heritage Month was originally a one-week celebration, and it was established in 1968 from under President Lyndon Johnson. President Ronald Reagan then established it as a month-long celebration in 1988. And so as of August 17th, we have been celebrating National Hispanic Heritage Month in the United States. I feel like it's important to understand really the roots, because as long as I can remember, especially after I left Lorain, being asked, do you prefer to be called Latina or Hispanic? And the truth is they're both labels. So the term Hispanic, other than the history of the Dominican Republic being called Hispaniola, it was the Nixon administration that chose to, when they saw how many different communities were arriving here, cultures, ethnic cultures, speaking Spanish, they termed, for data purposes and census purposes, Hispanic. And then Latino is of the origin of Latin America, and that is a geographical term. And so in reality, neither are really representative of how one identifies. I do not speak for all Latinos. I just have my own experience in working with Latinos my whole life, and here in Central Ohio since 1995, both with the Latino community as well as immigrants and refugees from all over the world. And it's been a pleasure to serve. Our community is very rich and contributes in so many ways, not only from an economic basis, but also the impact socially and economically, culturally. All of that makes a difference in how we connect with each other and learn with each other, especially even in, from elementary school going on. So that is how we learn from each other. It warms my heart tremendously, actually, to have been introduced by a Latina here at the County Commissioners. Since 1995, again, I've worked as an advocate and then a government individual, a government servant. Worked for 10 years under Mayor Coleman with the New Americans Initiative and as Assistant Director of the Community Relations Commission. And then 2 years under Ginther's administration, Assistant Director as the Department of Neighborhoods. And something that we've always encouraged is definitely representation, right, at all levels. And to have a seat at the table, we've all heard that term. To see it here in action it warms my heart, but it makes such an impact in our community for young Latinos, Latinas, Latinx communities to see ourselves in leadership roles. With that, I will just say that I also very much thank you and appreciate what you're doing throughout the county. I have worked with Welcoming America for the last 12 years and have seen other counties in the U.S. and what cities and counties and municipalities are doing, and have had the pleasure of working with Courtney Kerrigan to do training through all of your departments. You have very high-quality individuals that really want to learn about diversity and to work with your Office of Diversity and Inclusion, D'Amica, and really be able to train through the departments. It's been very impressive, and I do not say that lightheartedly. What you're doing here as leadership, it matters. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you, President O'Grady. To Perla and Guadalupe, thank you so much for what you represent, what you do. One of the beauties that I love about being an American is the rich history that the American history is made of, and it's world history. And America is a microcosm of the world. And the more we celebrate that, the stronger we become, the more intelligent we become. And I'm really looking forward to when there is a Heritage Month, I always take the time to read a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit about that heritage and learn something new every single time. And so thank you for what you represent. Pearl, I don't know you, I've never met you before, but I've heard very good things about you. And so I'm looking forward to working with you. As you know, in Guadalupe, you were very much engaged with this. We started the New Americans Commission several years ago because Franklin County wanted to embrace the idea that we are better when we embrace all of our heritage, and more importantly, we direct our resources to try to best meet the needs of all of our residents. And that commission is going strong and still doing a really great work with their annual reports and so forth. And it's that kind of effort that allows Franklin County to go to the next level. And so thank you for what you've done with the New Americans Commission as well with us.
President O'Grady, thank you, Guadalupe, for being here. Thank you for Perla for the introduction. It just goes to show, like Commissioner Boyce said, that like all of the different cultural aspects goes to our American history, but to world history. I know for my daughters, whose father is Panamanian, father born in Panama, grandmother born and raised in Panama, and whose ancestors came by way of Jamaica, by way of Africa, right? So there's her ancestors were enslaved in different places, and then they ended up rooting in Panama and raising a family, and her siblings continue to live there. And for my children, who are Afro-Latina, tries to figure out what their identity is, and that it's complex, and that there is a richness there that they are absolutely interested in learning more about. And so that goes to show even more so that we are not monolithic, and that, you know, there is a community here in Franklin County that embraces all of that, and that there is a home. And we try to show that here, as Commissioner Boyce said, in Franklin County, by being a welcoming county, but trying to find places where voices of individuals who have different perspectives, different backgrounds, can be in community, but then also can educate us. And so then we could just continue to be better and have a county that really is every resident every single day. And so thank you for all the work that you're doing. And then just being a partner. I mean, you partner with us on a number of different initiatives. You sit on boards, and you're just a great representative of Franklin County. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Well, Guadalupe, we appreciate everything that you've been doing for us and with us for a number of years. And so we have a resolution for you, and we'd like to come up and get a picture with you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I will start with you. To get the middle here. Yeah. So nice to meet you.
All right. Thank you, Perla. Thank you, Guadalupe. So September is also Hunger Action Month, and we are pleased to recognize the important work that the Mid-Ohio Food Collective does throughout the whole year, and to help make Central Ohio families have the food and nutritional resources that they need. So here to tell us a little bit about the Mid-Ohio Food Collective and the work that they need, or that they've been doing, and that we are seeing throughout the community, is Mike Cochran. So welcome, Mike. Should say welcome back, Mike.
Good morning, President O'Grady, Commissioner Crawley, Commissioner Boyce, Administrator Wilson. It is, of course, a joy to be back here at the General Session Room for the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. I am Mike Cochran, Senior Vice President of Communications with the Mid-Ohio Food Collective. I'm delighted to be here today to speak a little bit about Hunger Action Month and the work underway in our community to make sure every resident of Franklin County has access to the fresh and nutritious food they need to thrive. Mid-Ohio Food Collective is the largest hunger relief organization in Central and Eastern Ohio, each day distributing enough food for about 180,000 meals, which is an incredible amount of food to address an issue with an incredible level of need. Our mission is to end hunger, one nourishing meal at a time, while co-creating communities where everyone thrives. In September, here in Franklin County and all across the nation, is Hunger Action Month, where food banks from across the National Feeding America Network work to engage their communities on ways to not only learn more about hunger, but also how the community can come together and be a part of the work in their backyard, in their neighborhood, to help end hunger for their neighbors. At Mid-Ohio Food Collective, we take Hunger Action Month seriously because it's a way to bring every one of our residents to the table, whether it's someone who needs help to put food on their plate or someone who's in a position to give back, or sometimes both. And our theme this year is that hunger lives here and so does help. And the truth is, wherever you live in Franklin County, from Grove City to Whitehall, from Westerville to Worthington, there are neighbors who are struggling to keep food on the table, and incredible organizations and volunteers who are a part of meeting that need. So let me speak just for a second about what we're seeing in terms of the need. Last year, our last fiscal year, from July 1st of 22 through the end of June of this year, we saw approximately 1 out of every 3 residents of Franklin County came to our service network at least one time to help put food on the table, which is just an astounding number. When you think about what that means someone on your street, someone in your child's classroom, someone sitting next to you at church is one bad day away from needing a bit of help. And across the 20 counties that we serve in central and eastern Ohio, the Mid-Ohio Food Collective and our partners helped put food on the tables of over 700,000 Ohioans. It's different people. It's an incredible number. And what does that speak to? It speaks to the fact that in today's economy, the challenges of inflation and high costs, so many folks are just one bad day away, a medical bill, a flat tire, a sick day for your kid. And in fact, August of 2023, last month, was the single busiest month in our organization's history in terms of the level of service. And that's a number that we hit in 2020 at the peak of COVID, and then we started setting new records again when inflation started kicking off last year. And this year, the numbers have continued to climb. In fact, so far this year, just the number of service visits, the time families have made the courageous choice to come and ask for help, is up 35% from where it was over the first 8 months of last year. But while hunger lives here, so does help. And an incredible number of our neighbors step up every single day to make sure that their family, that their neighbors, their community has the help that they need. Volunteers donated over 100,000 hours of their time to Mid-Ohio Food Collective last year. Some folks who come once with their business. My first touch point with Mid-Ohio Food Collective was as an employee with the Franklin County Board of Commissioners for a volunteer day. That was my first touch in the warehouse. But over 17,000 of our neighbors stepped up last year alone to help us keep food on our neighbors' tables, and it's pretty incredible. And so while we work to meet the need today, we also are planning for the future. And so while during Hunger Action Month, we call upon people to volunteer, to donate, and to advocate, to give help and to get help, I want to thank the Franklin County Board of Commissioners for their continued support in both meeting the need and working to improve access and dignity, whether that's expanding the capacity we have for fresh and frozen foods at our headquarter warehouse down in Grove City, investing in the future of our Mid-Ohio markets, including we'll be opening our new Mid-Ohio market at Gantz Road down in Grove City next month in October. Finally, taking the COVID-era drive-through operations that have been in place for 3.5 years and moving back to a more dignified in-person shopping experience, or looking at transformational projects, including the work down in the Eastland community on Refugee Road and our plans to turn that into a true integrated transformational prosperity center, a service hub for every neighbor, so they can access not only food, but we can address the #1 zip code in Franklin County for evictions, for infant mortality, and really be there to serve the holistic needs of families. Food will bring people in, and then we want to help address whatever else is going on in their lives. So I want to thank the commissioners for their commitment to ensuring everyone has access to the fresh, healthy food that they need to thrive. I want to wish you all a happy Hunger Action Month, and thank you for the ongoing support for our work to end hunger in Franklin County.
Mr. President, may I just briefly, Mike, good to see you as always. I was saying to Commissioner O'Grady, I was like, when did you go over to Mid-Ohio Food Bank Collective? And so good to see you there. It's a great organization. Give Matt Habash our best. We see him as a partner, you know, in meeting a great need. I will say I had the opportunity to tour South Linden recently with Nationwide Children's Hospital and visited some of their food bank services and some of their housing network investment sites that we're coordinating funds with. But what stood out to me was the food bank partners in the region that we saw. And in particular, we've also working on a project my office is working on a project with New Salem Baptist Church with some of their food bank delivery services. And And I just know that the collective is a big part of undergirding the survival of this sort of stretch of time that's been tough for all of us, from COVID to now. And so thank you for your work, and please give your CEO our best, because we know that he's on the front line. We know that he understands how to best leverage those resources and maximize their impact, and just keep up the great work, but make sure you give Matt our best.
Thank you, Commissioner.
If I may. Thank you, President O'Grady. So thank you for all the work that you all do. It's so good to see you again. But I just want to underscore the work of the food banks, as Commissioner Boyce said, here in Franklin County and all across Ohio, but also the other organizations that are working to fight hunger, right? We know that food and access to healthy food options and food insecurity is a real thing, and it's one of those social determinants of health that really can, destabilize a family. If you don't have access to healthy food options, you don't have access to food, or you're making bad choices because of your income, then that contributes to health issues and, just has a ripple effect. And yesterday I was at OSU speaking with the president and CEO from the Kellogg Foundation and all that they're doing in this area. And I was uplifting the Board of Commissioners program, Urban Roots, which is a partnership with the school districts to get kids in middle school and high school involved in all things agriculture, which also includes urban farming, but making healthy food choices, but hydroponics, all of the things. And with Uplifting Urban Roots, talked about Commissioner O'Grady's food action plan and the board and the council and all the work that you're doing in this space with our partners. We cannot address hunger in a real way if we don't continue to foster relationships and collaboration, and funding is a big part of it. But there's only so much we can do at the county. We continue to need investment from the state. We continue to need investment from the federal government. As you said, you continue to see the need increase. And I don't know that that'll go away anytime soon, right? And as much as we can advocate for people getting higher wages in their jobs, as long as eggs continue to be like $9, and then, there's only so much, the dollars can only go so far. And so, I think it will take a collective effort, and I just really want the public to know that, you have a role to play in this too, whether it's volunteering for the Mid-Ohio Food Collective, or in your local neighborhood like we have at, on the south side, with Church for All People and the Fresh Food Market. There are places where you can give of your time that just will make a tremendous difference for a family, and I hope you consider that. And thank you to my colleagues for continuing to, for us to continue to support this work, in a meaningful way. So thank you.
Well said.
Thank you, guys. This is some of the most important money that we spend initially, in Franklin County. It's been some of the best work that we do. When we make the decisions on all the dollars that we want to expend every year, the money that we spend with Mid-Ohio Food Collective is at the top of the list, because we need to make sure that folks are taken care of. And the interesting thing is that throughout, it started, we started recognizing it with the pandemic, but at this point, in this time in our county's history, we have more people accessing your resources than we have in the past. And people who probably never thought they'd find themselves, reaching out for your services. And, it's just an odd time. And so it's important that we continue to have that partnership, as Commissioner Boyce points out, with your agency. It's good to have you there. We're glad that you found your way down there. We were glad when you were here. We were glad when you went to CSEA. You've been a great partner of ours, but it's good to have you down there as well. It is always a good partnership that we have with the Mid-Ohio Food Collective, but the work that you guys are doing is critical. And it's good that it continues, and it's good that our relationship with the collective continues. Folks in this community need to rely on the collective. They need to know that if something ever happens, especially now when, like I said, when people never dreamed that they would find themselves there or finding themselves there, that's a fantastic resource to have. So we appreciate that. We also have a resolution for you, and we'd like to get a photo with you as well.
She tells me she'll be driving soon.
She will, which time goes like that.
Make sure to send out the best. Next time? What's on the 30th? Okay, I'll talk to you. We'll figure it out.
All right, next, need an approval of the minutes of the July 27th, 2023 briefing session.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Thank you, the minutes have been approved.
All right, to the drainage engineer.
Resolution number 72523, resolution approving a ditch maintenance petition for Headley Farms, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brad Foster with the Franklin County Engineer's Office, along with Nick Soulis, representing the Franklin County Engineer and also the Franklin County Drainage Engineer. The first resolution seeks approval of a ditch maintenance petition for the drainage improvement within Headley Farm subdivision located in Jefferson Township. The petition ensures that the improvements will be properly maintained. Pending any questions, I'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 725-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 72523 has been adopted.
Thank you. All right, now to the engineer. We have a public hearing for resolution 72623. Clerk, can you please read the public hearing?
Establishing, altering, and widening of Chambers Road, County Road number 56, from Kenny Road, County Road number 57, to Hess Boulevard, Clinton Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineer to file plans as necessary.
All right, I'd like to open the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone here who would like to speak on this public hearing at the moment? All right, if the engineer would like to brief the public hearing? Since there's no one here, I'm sorry, I don't see anyone in the, either online or in the crowd, so I'll close the public hearing, so, if you, I'm sorry, go ahead and read it first.
She's looking,
My bad.
she's having a nervous breakdown over there,
Yeah,
looking at
yeah.
you like, what's he doing? What's he doing?
If you would read, first you can read it in the record, and then we'll have Brad brief it.
Resolution number 72623, establishing, altering, and widening of Chambers Road, County Road number 56, from Kenny Road, County Road number 57, to Hess Boulevard, Clinton Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineer to file plans as necessary.
Thank you. Now, Brad.
Thank you, Commissioners. Commissioners, on August 22nd, 2023, the board adopted a resolution declaring necessary Chambers Road from Kenny Road to Hess Boulevard. And on September 18th, 2023, the Board of Commissioners viewed the said improvement project. The resolution authorizes the engineer to prepare plans necessary for the construction of this project and represents the second step in the legislative process. The project seeks to construct approximately 800 feet of sidewalk east of Kenny Road. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
All right, if there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 726-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 72623 has been adopted.
All right, we have another public hearing for resolution 72723. Can you please read the public hearing?
Establishing, altering, and widening of Wagner Road, County Road number 106, from East Main Street, US 40, to East Broad Street, State Route 16, Truro Township and Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio. Viewed, engineer to file plans as necessary.
All right, I'd like to open a public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone who would like to speak for the public, at the public hearing? All right, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and have the clerk read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 72723, establishing, altering, and widening of Wagner Road, County Road number 106, from East Main Street, US 40, to East Broad Street, State Route 16, Truro Township and Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio. Viewed, engineer to file plans as necessary.
Commissioners, on July 18, 2023, the board adopted a resolution declaring necessary Wagner Road from East Main Street to East Broad Street. And on September 18, 2023, the Board of Commissioners viewed the said improvement project. The resolution authorizes the engineer to prepare plans necessary for the construction of the project and represents the second step in the legislative process. This is the collaborative project between Franklin County and the city of Reynoldsburg. The project seeks to widen and rebuild Wagner Road along with pedestrian facilities. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 723-23.
It's 727, Commissioner.
What did I say, 723? I'm sure, all right, sorry. 727-23. My glasses are dirty, so I can't.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes,
Resolution number 72723 has been adopted.
and we have a public hearing for resolution 72823. Clerk, can you please read resolution into the public hearing into the record?
Establishing, altering, and widening of all streets located within the Westbrook subdivision, including Westfield Drive, Westfield Drive North, Westbrook Drive, Marsdale Avenue, Westfield Drive South, Gants Road, Eastbrook Drive South, Eastbrook Drive, Eastfield Drive North, and Eastfield Drive, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio. Viewed, engineer to file plans as necessary.
All right, I'd like to open a public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone here who would like to speak to the public hearing? Seeing none, I'd like to close the public hearing and have the clerk read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 72823, establishing, altering, and widening of all streets located within the Westbrook subdivision, including Westfield Drive, Westfield Drive North, Westbrook Drive, Marsdale Avenue, Westfield Drive South, Gants Road, Eastbrook Drive South, Eastbrook Drive, Eastfield Drive North, and Eastfield Drive, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio. Viewed, engineer to file plans as necessary.
Commissioners, on August 22nd, 2023, the board adopted a resolution declaring necessary the Westbrook subdivision. And on September 18th, 2023, the Board of Commissioners viewed the said improvement project. The resolution authorizes the engineer to prepare plans necessary for construction of the project and represents the second step in the legislative process. The project is located in Franklin Township and seeks to install sidewalks within the subdivision. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 728-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes,
Resolution number 72823 has been adopted. Resolution number 72923, approval of the Headley Farm subdivision plat, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, this resolution seeks approval of the Headley Farm subdivision plat. The subdivision is located in Jefferson Township. Approval of this resolution is the last step in the legislative process, allowing the developers to begin selling and start to build homes. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 729-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
yes.
Resolution number 72923 has been adopted.
Commissioners, I have one more thing. I would like to invite you guys to the 37th Annual Snow Fighters Rodeo that will take place on Thursday this week, September 28th, at the engineer's office located at 970 Dublin Road. This event is a snowplow obstacle course where our drivers test their skills. The townships are also invited to participate. The event helps our office prepare for the upcoming 2023-2024 snow and ice season. So if you want to potentially drive a snowplow, please stop by our office between 9 and 11 tomorrow, and we'll get you out there on the course. I'm sorry, Thursday, yes, September 28th.
All right.
Okay, that sounds fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
President O'Grady,
Yes, sir.
I would just, Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. I won't be able to make it this year due to other commitments, but it is in fact a good time to get behind the wheel, and you get a special appreciation for how difficult it is to drive down some of our narrow roads in Franklin County when you're behind the wheel and you doing a test, dropping the blade, pushing a tire under, and other skill tests on the obstacle course. And then at the same time, having the pressure of never wanting to come before you all and say that the county administrator has damaged any one of those snowplows. So that's always my challenge each year when I'm able to do it. So I encourage
So I should
Commissioner
go out.
O'Grady, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Crowley to get behind the wheel and attend the snow rodeo at least
So
for
I
a
should
few
go out and
minutes.
feel better about the fact that they took out my mailbox last year?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a big deal. Don't worry. I took care of it, it's fine. All right, I'm kidding, that's all right, good.
Thank you.
So Thursday, at what time?
Between 9 and 11 on Thursday, September 28th, over at 970 Dublin Road.
Gotcha. I drive by it all the time, so.
You or any of your staff are more than welcome to stop by.
Perfect,
Oh,
thank
well,
you.
I know Kevin will be there. Okay,
Yeah, drive one of those. I don't think I've ever actually driven a snowplow. That might be fun.
Come on over.
Just clear everything out the way.
Thank you very much.
That's what they did.
okay, sounds good, thanks, guys, appreciate it.
Thanks,
All right,
Hackman.
prosecuting attorney,
President O'Grady, it should be noted that KL is here. I don't know.
I saw it
We
coming.
were trying to,
I
get
saw
through a
her
bunch of
coming.
stuff
We
before
did
she
not
got
get
here,
through-
and so,
we did not get through
yeah.
enough. We did
I
not
was
get-
mapping
We
out
weren't
my,
talking about you. I said KL.
Too
You
many
don't, that could be talking
ceremonies.
about anybody.
Too many
Commissioners, I was
ceremonies.
mapping out my route to drive the snowplow down Commissioner O'Grady's road on Thursday.
Too many ceremonial.
Oh, so that was you that took out his mailbox. Ah.
She's taken out a lot more than mailboxes, I can tell you right now. We did not get through enough, too many ceremonial resolutions. Let's move on to the prosecuting attorney.
Resolution number 73023, resolution approving the settlement of legal claims and authorizing the county administrator to execute a settlement agreement and release in the amount of $50,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Amy Hires on behalf of Prosecuting Attorney Gary Tyak. This resolution would approve a pre-litigation settlement with Jean Boylan. In August of 2021, the remains of Miss Boylan's father were mistakenly released by the coroner's office and cremated. The two employees who were involved in this very unfortunate incident were removed from their positions as a result of this. Ms. Boylan was represented by counsel. We engaged in settlement negotiations and agreed to resolve all potential claims in exchange for $50,000. The settlement is in no way an admission of liability by the county, the coroner's office, or any county employee, and is a settlement of disputed claims. Our office drafted and approved to form the proposed settlement agreement and release to memorialize and effectuate this settlement. The resolution would approve the settlement and authorize the county administrator to execute it on behalf of the county to finalize the settlement. The resolution further authorizes the county administrator to take any additional actions necessary to effectuate the settlement that are not inconsistent with the resolution. Pending any questions, our office recommends approval of this resolution and settlement.
Okay, there are no further comments or any comments or questions. Move for adoption of 730-23.
Second,
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley,
yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes,
Resolution number 73023 has been adopted.
Thank you.
all right, thank you. The Office on Aging.
Resolution number 73123, resolution authorizing a contract extension number 1 with Duraline Medical Products Incorporated for incontinence supplies in the amount of $1,183,327.50.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. I'm Shonda Wingo, the Director for the Office on Aging.
This contract extension will be for the period of one term, beginning September 1st, 2023 through August 31st of 2024. This resolution, I'm sorry, hold on. This contract requires the supply, delivery, and installation of durable medical equipment to Franklin County senior citizens receiving services through the Franklin County Office on Aging. The contract bid was awarded, I'm so sorry, I'm out of order today. The contract bid was awarded under Resolution 060-22 through the Franklin County Purchasing Department. The Franklin County Office on Aging recommends the extension presented under this resolution. This resolution supports goal number 9. Pending any questions, we request approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 732-23.
Commissioner, it's 7:30.
731-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 731-23 has been adopted. Resolution number 732-23, resolution authorizing a first and second contract extension with Crosby's Drugs Incorporated for durable medical equipment in the amount of $110,414.
I realize I just made a mistake. I'm so sorry. So the Duraline was for incontinence supplies, and then Crosby's is for the durable medical equipment. Am I fine to move forward?
I believe the resolution was correct that was passed.
That's correct.
So yes, you've corrected your presentation, but the resolution itself speaks for itself, and that was correctly passed.
Okay, thank you. So the second resolution authorized the contract with Crosby Drugs for, I am so sorry. We're on durable medical equipment now. Okay, so sorry.
That's correct, Doctor.
The second resolution authorizes the first and second contract extension for the durable medical equipment. The county vendor has agreed to exercise the first and second optional one-year extension under the original contract, which was effective January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023, and the second extension effective January 1st, 2024 through December 31st of 2024. This resolution supports goal number 9 of the Rise Together blueprint, and pending any questions, we respectfully request approval of this resolution.
President O'Grady?
Please.
I do have a question. I'm a little confused on that this is a first and second contract extension. Can you, maybe I haven't seen that before. Can you explain?
I'll have Larice come up.
Okay,
'cause
why
I'm
we have a first
off
and
today.
second contract extension.
Tell us if she's ready.
Good morning, County Administration Board of Commissioners. Larice Cohen's Chief Financial Officer, Office on Aging. The first contract and extension, what happened with this contract, it was approved, and the first contract was supposed to be renewed in January of 2022. When it did not get renewed, we were able to meet with the vendor, prosecuting attorney's office, and purchasing to discuss how we can move with this contract going forward instead of restarting the whole thing all over again. This original contract had 4 years or 4 one-year extensions to it. And so what we did was met with the vendor, determined that we could take it back with 2 contracts, one starting January 1st through the current date, and then continue it through the end of 2024, making it a first and second contract extension.
So we're executing a second-year contract extension just a few months early. So
Yes.
the second contract extension would start on January 1st, 2024.
That is true.
Through
And
December?
yes, that is correct.
Okay.
And with that, we were able to also negotiate, because there was an increase in this, it would have been 1.5% for each year, so we were able to continue on with their increase.
Okay.
Kenneth
to
Wilson.
3% to 3%?
I also need to say something.
Yes.
So it's 1% for the first contract extension increase, and then for the second contract extension is 3%?
It's the 1.5, well, it's a total of 3%.
Oh, total of 3% for
Yes,
both, okay.
that is correct.
Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Crawley, it is, so in effect, it is 1.5% for the period going back to January 1st of this year through 12/31 of the current year. And then there's 1.5% increase beginning January 1 of 2024 through the end of that year, which makes a total of 3%.
That is correct.
I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't 3% twice, or if that was the case. Thank you.
And Commissioner, if you look at the first clause of the resolution, it may help you in terms of why there is a first and second extension. You are ratifying the actions taken before that should have been taken with the, yeah, you know how to do.
I guess I was just confused about, I was confused about the two contract extensions in one resolution, but then just reading the allowable rate increase in the fourth clause, rate increase of 3%, because the way that I guess it's just worded in this clause, just would have one, if you didn't give me the explanation, think that it was just an increase of 3% versus 1.5% 1 year and 1.5% the second year, just how it's written. So I just wanted clarification on that. Okay, all right, we can move on. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is it
So
me?
we need,
Okay.
yeah, we need a motion.
If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 732-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes,
Resolution number 732-23 has been adopted.
Thank you.
thank you, Sean. All right, economic development and planning.
Resolution number 733-23, review of petition to annex 0.9 acres more or less from Truro Township to the city of Reynoldsburg, case number ANX-32-23.
Good morning, Commissioners. Matt Brown, Planning Administrator for the Economic Development Planning Department. This resolution is consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 0.9 acres more or less from Truro Township to the city of Reynoldsburg. The area to be annexed includes 1769 Lancaster Avenue, parcel number 263-002404. The petition was filed by Jerry Scott on behalf of the property owner, Mothers Inc. Housing Incorporated. 60% of the site's perimeter is contiguous to the city of Reynoldsburg, and the city passed resolution number 2023-46 on September 11th, 2023, indicating the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved. The petition meets all statutory requirements and has substantially complied with procedural requirements outlined in section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code. And pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
Commissioners, if you recall from briefing, and I'll allow Matt to explain further, there was a slight deviation on procedures, but it was the prosecuting attorney's belief that it was not substantial to address the issues. So, Matt, would you please explain that for the record?
Yes, so there is a notification requirement that an agent for a petition must notify the township and the city when an annexation petition is filed with Franklin County. The agent for the petitioners in this particular case did not provide the proper notice to the township with respect to this annexation petition filing. However, staff has reviewed this petition as though the township objected to the annexation petition, and we have found that the petition meets all of the statutory requirements that would be reviewed if the township had formally objected to the petition.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 733-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 733-23 has been adopted. Resolution number 734-23, review of petition to annex 9.9 acres, more or less, from Plain Township to the City of New Albany, case number ANX-37-23.
Commissioners, this resolution is to consider an expedited Type 1 annexation petition of 9.9 acres, more or less, from Plain Township to the City of New Albany. The area to be annexed includes parcel number 220-001952, located at 5211 Johnstown Road. The petition was filed by Aaron Underhill of Underhill and Hodge LLC on behalf of the property owner, Oakland Nursery Incorporated. 91% of the site's perimeter is contiguous to the City of New Albany, and an annexation agreement exists between Plain Township and New Albany. The petition meets all statutory requirements outlined in section 709.022 of the Ohio Revised Code. And pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
All right, if there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 734-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 734-23 has been adopted. Resolution number 735-23. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Joyce F. Fleming at 3784 Armuth Avenue, Mifflin Township, Ohio, 43219.
Good morning. I'm Julissa Tiruchal, Executive Assistant for EDP. My first resolution is for Joyce F. Fleming. She received on October 24th, 2006 from Franklin County a home loan for $2,522 on real estate, commonly known as 3784 Armuth Avenue, Mifflin Township, Ohio. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied, and I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
Excellent. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 735-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 735-23 has been adopted. Resolution number 736-23. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Richard F. Ginsler at 1391 Greenleaf Road, Franklin Township, Ohio, 43223.
Richard F. Ginsler received on October 21st, 2004 from Franklin County a home loan for $2,306 on real estate, commonly known as 1391 Greenleaf Road, Franklin Township. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied, the property taxes are paid and current, and I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 736-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 736-23 has been adopted. Resolution number 737-23. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Cynthia L. Thompson at 1320 Brownleaf Road, Township of Franklin, Ohio, 43223.
Cynthia L. Thompson received on October 23rd, 2019 from Franklin County a home loan for $11,925.80 and on real estate, commonly known as 1320 Brownleaf Road, Franklin Township. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied, and I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 737-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 737-23 has been adopted.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We are now at Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 738-23. Resolution approving a contract amendment with Access to Interpreters LLC for interpretation and translation services, an increase of $1,775,000 for a total of $3,342,389.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Chief Administrator. Franklin County Job and Family Services is committed to providing meaningful access to programs for our limited English proficient residents or LEP residents and families as required under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. This is the second year of a 3-year agreement with access to interpreters to provide on-site, over the phone, and video remote interpretation services, as well as translation services. These services enable Job and Family Services staff to effectively communicate with LEP residents, determine eligibility for public benefits, and provide appropriate referrals for services. Access to interpreters will also provide document translation services for agency forms, brochures, in 4 primary languages, including Spanish, Arabic, Somali, and Nepali, and others as requested. In addition to meeting our Title VI obligations, this agreement aligns with our Poverty Blueprint Plan, Goal Number 4 and Goal Number 9. And pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
Commissioner Crowley.
Thank you, President O'Grady. I do have a question. So this is an increase of more than the original contract amount. And so can you help me understand why we are amending it for, like, what is the increase for?
The increase basically during last year's term, we basically were not open our facilities, and so we had a reduced number of interpreters on site at our opportunity centers. Since we have opened that, we've had an increased need for additional interpreters, in-person interpreters, at all 3 of our opportunity centers. So this contract reflects having more on-site interpretation services.
Okay, and so can you talk to, or is there, I guess, how many on-site interpreters or interpreters did we have, and what is the increase in interpreters?
So last year, we did not have many on-site. Because our front doors were not open, Commissioner, we did not need the in-person interpretation, as many interpreters to do that. We basically had interpreters to do interpretation over the phones only.
So you had none inside?
Now that we've opened,
none
we
on
have
site?
the on-the-phone interpreters, as well as now increasing the number of in-person interpretation representatives that we have.
And how many
on-site.
will we have on site? How many will we have on site? How many interpreters?
I can't tell you exactly. I can certainly get the details of that and send it over to you about the specific difference in the numbers of that this contract will reflect. I think it may be, we added 2 additional interpreters here at Northland, I know for sure, in Nepali and Arabic.
So this is, okay. I'm sorry, I was out of town last week for a briefing, and so this is my bad, because it's not even double the original contract amount. It is more than that. And so, I'm not saying that we don't have the need. I just want to understand what the need looks like.
So also, let me just say this. We did add a bit of a cushion into this agreement, Commissioner, because we've had varying changing of needs throughout the year. And so we determined this year to add a little bit more of a cushion. So if we needed to adapt or adjust the translation services, we could easily without having to come back and amend the agreement. I think there may be a cushion of about $200,000 we added to this agreement just to add for that additional, if we needed to move people, if we needed to shift, if we needed more on-site, or even document translation services. So that is something new that we did this year.
And even if we had even if you're just telling me that there's 2 translators at one site, I want to know the number of on-site translators.
I will get that over to you specifically, side by side, what last year looked like compared to what this year's contract looks like.
Okay. I know Commissioner Boyce has some questions, so I won't monopolize it.
Okay.
But she asked all the questions I was gonna ask, but I was gonna say, I'd like to see that information as well.
We will certainly get that. We'll get that to you this afternoon.
Administrator Wilson, did you?
Thank you, President O'Grady, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Crawley. Would it be fair, Ms. Turner, to say that this contract is based on a not-to-exceed amount?
Yes,
And
it
I
is. So
see-
basically, they will not, if they do not provide the services, they cannot bill. This is a unit-based service for the number of hours of interpretation services that are offered by Access to Interpreters.
And looking at the contract, there appears to be multiple different types of interpretation services that can be provided. And during the pandemic, when we didn't have in-person traffic, would it be correct that the base amount of this contract, that I agree with Commissioner Crowley, you question how could it increase so much? But the original contract was based upon how much was anticipated to be expended, for the most part, leaning heavily on over the phone and remote video interpretation services?
Yes, so in the previous years, we leaned heavily on, it was primarily telephone interpretation, county administrator.
So to put this contract into context, it would be helpful to see pre-pandemic how many in-person interpreters you had in the per unit, so the board can look at the per unit cost to see how
Okay.
this is, the contract is scoped as far as the not to exceed amount.
Absolutely, I understand. We will
No,
get all
I
of that
appreciate that.
information.
I appreciate that, because I was gonna say, even during the pandemic, even if we were closed, we were providing interpretation services prior to the pandemic. I would think that that would be in person as well, and not just over the phone or video. And so, yeah, I just need to see that. Even if it's a not to exceed, this $3.3 million, it's just a lot.
Actually, this is an amendment,
Well,
Commissioner.
1.7.
So this adds on 1.7 million to last year's award,
Right, which was only 1.5.
which was 1.5, yes. So it's about a $225,000 increase.
But we have approved, so this is the other thing. So I look at this in its totality, because we have approved not too long ago, millions of dollars for interpreters, outside of job and family services. And so, I don't know, between $2 and $4 million. And then I also hear from, especially like the New American or Somali population, who feels like they have organizations that could do interpretation services outside of just job and family services to help connect with other services, and they don't have the resources. And so, I don't know, it's just a lot of money. Again, I'm not saying that the need isn't there, I just need to see the need, and then how many people are going to be placed at the opportunity centers. And then maybe there's a way that we can partner with other organizations who feel like their community doesn't have the resources for translation services that they need, and that they're still struggling with. So
We can talk about that. This is RFP. We do a request for a proposal for these particular services as required by statute, but we can certainly talk about how we coordinate better with other county agencies.
Okay.
I 100% in alignment with your line of questioning, and I think moreover, I would just say that, and this isn't pointed at anyone, administration or JFS, but we've got these times when, commissioners are, remember, there are only three of us, and sometimes we're all running around the country and doing different things. On these kinds of increases, it should be sort of a little bit extra effort needs to be made to make sure that our offices have the type of information that are kind of obvious line of questioning. And so I kind of fall in the line of with Commissioner Crowley. Commissioner Crowley, I don't know if you want to hold on this legislation until you get your sort of answers. I'm okay either way going forward. Interpretation services are a core part of health and human services for our newest residents many times. So I personally, I know how important they are, but we have to be prudent stewards of the tax dollars and make sure that we know what we're voting on. And I think, ultimately, and it's not that we don't agree with this for sure. It's just that you should understand. Most of the legislation we vote on is pretty kind of routine or not sort of this significant in terms of the increase. But when you got it, you should be able to justify it and be ready to respond. And so, Commissioner Carl, I don't know what you want to do there, but I agree 100% with your line of questioning, and it just may be, I don't know, if you want to hold or if you want to, President O'Grady, it might be more your decision. I would just say I'd go either way on it.
I would, so President O'Grady, and I appreciate that, Commissioner Boyce, I would hate that I have all these questions and then, like, I just don't feel comfortable having all these questions. And I take a responsibility. I was traveling last week until earlier this week. And so I would have had the questions last week or yesterday. And so my bad. But yeah, if we could just hold till next week or move it to next week's agenda, if that makes sense, to give some time, if you guys are okay.
Vivian, is there any time sensitivity to this?
I think oh goodness, yes, there is time sensitivity. We can't amend this beyond today. We'd have to create a whole nother contract, which has its own complications.
Commissioners,
So today is the last day it can be amended.
Commissioners, this is Chris Long, Deputy County Administrator. With your permission, Commissioners, could we take a pause and have Janine Hummer, Legal Counsel, contact Vivian Turner directly to see if there is the ability to postpone for 1 week and then come back to this resolution at the end of today's session to see if there's the ability to postpone?
Somehow we just lost Vivian.
Vivian's on still
Let's move
Commissioner.
on to justice policy and programs, and we'll come back to this. Janine, if you can reach out to Vivian. and
They
we'll-
still have video.
Mr. President, if you could just give me one moment, please. We are still live on our feed, but in the room here, I just need one moment.
Director Pride, how are you? Good. I was in the community recently and somebody, I don't remember who, but someone said some really nice things about the work you're doing. So they came to me and said it about you.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, watch this.
Mr. President, whenever you're ready.
All right, let's move on to justice policy and programs.
Resolution number 73923. Resolution authorizing the county administrator to accept an award through the Ohio Healing Communities Study to support overdose prevention and access to treatment services in the amount of $90,380.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Rochelle Pride, Director for the Office of Justice Policy and Programs. With this resolution, I'm pleased to announce that our office was awarded the Ohio Healing Community Study Award from The Ohio State University to support peer support linkages for individuals that are at risk, released from our correctional center, and need the support in expanded pre-release medicated assistant treatment options, and to establish a post-release pilot contingency management program. Specifically, OJPP contracted with 3 peer support staff to support post-release continuity of care for individuals that are at risk and receive currently medicated assistant treatment services pre-release. Additionally, this funding will support a pilot contingency management program intended to recognize and reinforce positive behavioral change, like attending follow-up treatment appointments and meeting with assigned peer support specialists at regular intervals in the community. This contingency management model is an evidence-based practice strategy that has been proven to help individuals stay in treatment longer and achieve their treatment goals. Now, the Healing Community Study Award performance period was from March 1st, 2023 through December 31st of 2023. Due to considerable delays in the issuance of the award from Ohio State, along with multiple iterations of the award documents, prevented OJPP from bringing this award forward earlier for approval. However, authorization to charge expenses retroactively to March 1st of 2023 has been granted by the fiduciary agent. This resolution supports goal number 9 of our Rise Together blueprint, and pending any questions, we would ask your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, let me just say real quick, I'm sorry, if you folks didn't hear me on the public, in public, I was commenting to Director Pride before, when we took a little pause there, I was out in the community, and someone made some really nice comments about the work your department is doing, and specifically you. And quite frankly, I don't remember who it was or what it was about. I just remember I was surprised at what we were doing in this particular area. I remember being a little bit surprised that I was like, well, they're involved here, and so I just want to share that with you because whatever it was or whoever it was quite surprising, but very pleasant. So please pass that on to your staff. That, and they couldn't stop talking about the great work. So I just want to share that with the public. If there are no further comments or questions.
Well, there is a comment.
Oh, sorry.
Real quick.
My apologies.
No, you're good. If you could just say, you just got an award last week, the Department of Justice Policy and Programs got an award. So following
Okay.
up on what you were saying about the work that Director Pride is leading and just being fabulous herself, but the whole department. You want to talk about the recognition you all
Yes.
received?
So thank you, Commissioner Crawley and Commissioner Boyce. Last week, our office was recognized at the 4th Annual Central Ohio Social Justice Awards, and the organization received a Public Service Award for the service and work that our team does. And I always tell my team, there is no me without them. This is truly a team effort, and they are dynamic, which helps me continue to advocate and push and be just as dynamic. So I'm grateful and thankful, and the leadership and support that you all provide makes it that much easier every day. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thumbs up. Great work.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for sharing that, Commissioner Crawley.
thank you.
If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 739-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 739-23 has been adopted.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
But what time?
All right, Justice Policy and Programs.
Mr. President.
I'm sorry. Sorry, we're
Human
getting
Resources.
distracted here. Human Resources. Sorry about that, Laura.
Resolution number 740-23. Resolution authorizing agreement with The Ohio State University for the purchase of management advancement for the public service MAPS training units for agencies of the Board of Commissioners in the amount of $76,050.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Laura Rapaski, Director, Franklin County Human Resources. Our first resolution seeks approval of a contract with The Ohio State University in the amount of $76,050 for the purchase, of training units for the Management Advancement for Public Service, or more commonly known as MAPS program. The program supports your continued investment in Board of Commissioner employees' professional development through a variety of trainings offered through the MAPS program. The agreement establishes a multiple membership subscription, providing more than 300 training credits to Board of Commissioner agencies. Pending any questions or comments, we ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 740-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 740-23 has been adopted. Resolution number 741-23, resolution approving and authorizing the county administrator to execute a consultant agreement with S4 Consulting Incorporated and authorizing the county administrator to take additional actions necessary to effectuate the agreement not inconsistent with this resolution.
Commissioners, our second resolution requests authorization for the county administrator to execute a consultant agreement in a form not inconsistent with the attached draft with S4 Consulting to provide consulting services related to leadership development, coaching, and training to Board of Commissioners employees. As with the prior resolution, this resolution seeks to continue to expand the professional development resources available to Board of Commissioner employees. Under the proposed agreement, S4 Consulting will provide services to a cohort of employees in leadership positions. The cohort will receive monthly one-on-one leadership coaching, periodic assessments, and access to a variety of other leadership and development tools. Additionally, S4 Consulting will provide individual and group coaching and consulting services to a designated agency or agency department. Finally, based on the positive feedback from the staff who participated in this year's cohort, the new contract will also include some ongoing supports and consultation for members of that initial cohort, what we're kind of calling our alumni group. The resolution will also authorize the county administrator to take all additional actions necessary, including the execution of additional documents necessary to facilitate the agreement and not inconsistent with the terms of the agreement or the resolution. Today, we have Sally Sherman from S4 Consulting available with us online to answer any questions you may have, but pending any questions or comments, we ask for your approval of this resolution.
President O'Grady, for whatever reason, my iPad won't update. How much is the contract for?
It's a not-to-exceed amount of $395,000.
Good, thank you. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 741-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 741-23 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
All right, purchasing department.
Resolution number 742-23, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $5,203,177.05.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Balanier, Director of Purchasing. Joining me this morning is Tamika Bumper, Economic Equity Administrator for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. This resolution requests your approval of 98 purchase orders for which the County Auditor has pre-certified available funding. Tamika has prepared the supplier diversity data to share with you today. Good morning, Tamika.
Good morning. 12 of the purchase orders being presented today are being awarded to small emerging businesses totaling $70,890.84. 1% is being awarded to small businesses and 11% to women-owned businesses. Once these are approved, 4 agencies will have provided equitable and inclusive opportunities to small businesses this week. These agencies include the Court of Common Pleas, the Data Center, Domestic Relations and Juvenile Court, and the Sheriff's Office. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 742-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 742-23 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back to Job and Family Services now, Resolution 738.
And Commissioner, since I did already read the resolution into the record, I do not believe we have to do that again. So at this point, we would need a motion to postpone the resolution,
Yeah.
if that's how you would like to move forward.
So we're gonna postpone it until Thursday.
As a voting item.
As a voting item, we'll vote on it on Thursday in briefing session.
And Commissioners, Chris Long, Deputy County Administrator, in consultation with Janine Hummer, counsel to the board. The contract that Vivian Turner referenced expires on September 30th, so by having a vote on Thursday or consideration on Thursday, we are still within that timeframe.
Excellent. First, move to postpone to September 28th.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 738-23 has been postponed until Thursday, September 28th. And Commissioner, we do not have any journalizations today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Madam Clerk, there's no journalization.
There are not.
Is there any media either in the room or online that would like to ask questions of the commissioners or anybody else, county administration? Hearing none, the meeting will be adjourned.